number 8. And indeed, in this lecture, we are going to talk about countable and non-countable nouns. What we mean by countable and non-countable nouns means that the nouns that could be counted. For example, I say chair, 2 chairs, 3 chairs, table, 2 tables, table, tables. By adding the suffix s to the noun table, it becomes tables, and in this case it is plural. In other words, the plural form of the singular table is tables. As I can count it, say 1, 2, 3 of it, it is countable. It is countable. But if I say sugar, of course it is uncountable. I couldn't say 2 sugars, 3 sugars, for example. But books, so it is countable. Countable things you can count, singular or plural, chair or chairs, table or tables, 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, and so on and so forth. Uncountable things you cannot count. This is what I have just said. They can't be plural. Meat, I couldn't say meats to make plural. This is wrong, and as such meat is considered uncountable. Countable nouns take definite and indefinite articles and admit a plural form. I can say apple, apples, the apple, and apple. So it accepts all of what I have just said. Articles as well as the plural form apple, apples. Uncountable nouns take 0 article. No articles could be used with it. For example, there is juice on the table. I couldn't say there is a juice on the table. Okay? Of course, sometimes bread is uncountable. But if you are talking about different types of bread, French bread, Arabic bread, English bread, you can't count them. But in this case, you are talking about different types of it. So sometimes an uncountable noun, like bread, can be classified or reclassified as an accountable noun, meaning type of a bread, like what breads have you got today? Fresh bread. A type of bread, in this case, it is treated as countable. We need an apple, some apples, some butter, some milk. With uncountable, some could be used. We don't need a tomato, any tomatoes, any rice, any sugar. What the author wants to tell is that any could be used with uncountable nouns. Any rice, any sugar. Here, also these rules are to be understood by you. For example, use a and an with singular countable nouns. An apple, a book. Singular countable nouns. Use some with plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns. In other words, some could be used with countable and uncountable, and the questions in the exam are going to concentrate on these facts. Look, can I have some coffee? Which is uncountable. Do you want some biscuits? Okay. With uncountable nouns, we use how much? Because we couldn't count it. But with countable ones, we use how many. How many chairs do you want? How many tables do you have? Possible answer: I drink a lot of water. I drink quite a lot. Would you like some apples? Plural. Would you like some water? Partitive, part of it. A glass of water. Okay? There are many things. Notice with many, which is considered, well, which is used with the countable, I said things, not thing. Okay? There is much trouble. Trouble is uncountable, so it is preceded by much, not many, because much is used with the uncountable. And I just would like also to remind you of an important thing, which is the use of few and a few. Few and a few are used with countable. Little and a little are used with the uncountable. I just try to concentrate on what I think is very much important. All of them, of what I have just written, is important, but a little and a few. A little with the uncountable, a few with countable. Very little with the uncountable, very few is with countable. Okay? I say, I have little sugar, or I have much sugar. Little and much with uncountable, but I have few chairs, or I have a few chairs, or I have many chairs. Okay? Do you drink coffee? Much or many? Coffee is uncountable, so much is to be used. Do you drink much coffee? I have seen films. It has the S, which is the suffix of the plural. This means I'm talking about what? I'm talking about plural. And as such, many is to be used because I can make films, I can add the S to the word film, the singular film, in order to make it plural. Many is to be used, as many is used with the countable, not the uncountable. Photos is the same. But chocolate is uncountable, so much is to be. Do you eat much chocolate? It is uncountable. Here we have some vocabulary which I think are important, so I wrote them in this way. This passage is also important. Many people wonder. This means that wonder is an important word. Okay. There are many theories or opinions about this, but scientific evidence occurs. In other words, I have just given you examples for words that are to be skimmed or words that are to be scanned. And this is the difference between skimming and scanning. You might be asked in the exam about pronouns themselves in this case. It refers to what? Okay? You have to read the passage, you have to train yourself. The questions might be from the same passages in here, or a passage that I might take from outside the book, but it would be very similar to what I have mentioned here in the recorded lectures. These are sample questions. At the end, I would like just to thank you, and I hope everything is clear to you. Thank you so much, students.